Alright, guys, this is gonna be Daw's interview, the first interview in this
Oh,
series. Let's go ahead and look at the questions. Okay, so what names have you gone by in Bunktown?
I've been through a couple of names, but mainly the chemical, real da and chemical, and him here, among
Blood,
other ones, also for blood.
Mine Farming.
Also, yeah, mine farming too.
Alright, is that
And
it, you think?
oh, spawned also.
Cool. Um, how long have you been playing Bunk?
Honestly, let me check my thing, my profile, because I remember my old account profile. I've lost access to it. Um, since 3 months after 2019, so near the beginning of 2020.
Okay, so that's not possible because the game came out in August of 2020. I started playing around November of 2020, and I remember recruiting you, I believe, early 2021. Yeah.
Here, look at this.
What? I don't know
That
what to.
was my
I don't know what to say to that.
that was my first account. No one else has that name.
Oh, it's never mind. I got the dates mixed. It started February. Um, February 8th is when the game came out. February 8th, 2020. So just 2.5 months after I started playing Dreadnought. Um, and about, I want to say, like 8 months after Dreadnought came out, Bunktown came out. Interesting. So, sorry, getting off topic here. We're just supposed to be focusing on you. Um, So you've been playing for quite a while. When would you say you started
Yep.
like fully playing, like a focused
Uh,
incursion?
honestly, focusing was around the time I got recruited into MM actually.
So just a bit
Because
before that.
before
What what
I
brought you
played
to
in
the
like BGI.
game? Yeah, as did I, and as did many people. Before we
Yeah.
realized they were a horrible clan. I was brought to the game by BGI along with a lot of the player base. Billy Boy brought me to the game. um, as well. So yeah, BGI were big in bringing people to the game a long time ago. Um,
Yeah.
I remember Beats Edge and XX33 were the leaders. I think just Beats Edge at the time. I remember being friends with them. I'm glad that ended, for sure. But how long do you think you were playing when you returned that session before you were recruited by me, which started our friendship? I remember
Honestly, I don't
recruiting
think I
you in
played
Haas.
much.
I remember recruiting you in Haas, and I remember thinking, he's BGI, right? I don't want to recruit him. BGI usually aren't that good in this game. But it's like, I was like, might as well give him a chance, you know? What's the worst that could happen? I just think, like, how would we still be friends if I didn't choose to recruit you then? Or I think we would eventually have become good friends, but it would have taken longer, you know?
Yeah.
Our paths would have
Yeah.
eventually crossed, and you would have joined eventually, probably in the next um, few days or week at most, I would say.
Yeah.
Anyways, who knows though? Let's go to the next questions. What is the reason you came to Bunktown originally, and what is the reason you came back to Bunktown um, the time when I recruited you? That's the long term session.
From what I can remember, the first time it was because I was in like BGIVC or something, and they said something about Bunktown, and they were all in it, so I decided to join up. I remember dying a lot first day coming into that game.
Oh
I didn't even
yeah.
know what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
COVID was a problem.
Yeah.
And
Now we're
what was
pros.
the what was the part two to that question?
How long were so you got returned that so you originally returned due to the VGI VC from Dreadnought, the Dreadnought
No,
Discord
that's when I
VGI
first
VC.
started playing.
That's
That's
when you
when I
first
first started
started
playing.
playing. So when did you return to the game? Um, when I recruited you, that sort of long-term session, or were you always kind of just regularly playing since you originally joined?
I think I skipped the whole chapter on the game update. I came back around like Santa, I think. During Santa maybe. I
Okay.
don't remember exactly, but or chapter 3, I remember. Chapter 3 or chapter 4. But the day I came back is what it was like the day I got recruited, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Because I was just checking out the game to see what's happening.
Yeah,
And
that
then I
makes
bumped into
sense
you.
because that was when I was recruiting all willy-nilly, didn't care who I let in, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't like I did care who I let in, but I was a lot more, you know, arms open and less strict than I am now. I was a lot more focused on winning wars rather than having the good community. I still had good community, I would say. Better than our enemies for sure, as always, but yeah, I was just recruiting willy nilly. That was the meta, and it worked. Obviously, you were a
Yeah.
part of that. I think your interview is going to be quite long. I want to say, and there's going to be a lot more that goes into it compared to other people's interviews. Um, as of 2 days ago, before we quit, what is the reason you were still playing?
Mm, justify people to kill time, basically. I had no like attachment to the game. I just played it because the PvP there is fun.
Is there anything else on why you played that game?
Wow, you guys play it. You guys are my friends, so
Who's
that's
you
why I played
guys?
it. Death Watch.
Nice. All right. Um, what are some reasons that you have quit, and what are some reasons on why you have returned in the past?
In pass, I remember the first time I quit, I just got bored of the game because I didn't even know what to do.
That was
And
the
when I
first time
returned,
you
I
quit, I'm
just
guessing?
yeah, it
Cool.
was the BJ thing that happened. But yeah, oh frick. Yeah, someone's at my door. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. That was my dad.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. Did I answer the second part?
Let me see. Sorry. Let me go back to the questions. Yeah, the second part you have not answered. What are some reasons on why you've returned in the past?
Returned?
Yes.
Well, not really that much. I just wanted to see what was happening since it was an old game I used to play. Well, not old, but somewhat.
Okay, so just wanted to see what was up, check in, see how things were
Yeah.
going. And then in terms of like after you joined Deathwatch slash MM, what are some of the reasons on why you left and rejoined then? Because I feel like you've only been talking about pre your entrance in MM.
Why I, what reason why I want to leave?
No, reasons why you did leave and why you did return. I already know the answer to these questions. I'm just asking you to say it for the sake of the interview.
Okay. Well, initially I just wanted more people to kill, since at that point no one really could have topped me. Well, not to have an ego or anything, but it just kind of felt boring.
Yeah, Prime
I
U
just
was
wanted,
very much uncontested, especially with the most powerful clan in the game's history to back you up, or often get in your way.
oh, most
You could
likely
pretty
that.
much solo the whole server yourself, and we were just obstacles to you that you couldn't kill. Um, I remember
Uh,
Prime U. It was very, very fun. Some of the big, big battles, like 30v10s, where you would just be killing all 10 of them yourself for the most part. And all the other 29 of us were just goofing off. Not goofing
that
off, but not
like,
doing
but
any
not
well
really.
where near as you. What'd you say?
Sometimes it felt like that, but not really.
Yeah. All right. What's the next question? What is your favorite item in the game?
Wow, there's only one item I want. Fish hats. Very nice.
I knew you were gonna say that. Can you sell me
Is
vials?
that a question?
Yes, that's a question on the interview.
That's a legitimate question.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it is. I can give them to you. I don't need them that
Okay.
much.
Cool. We'll do that after this. Actually, we probably won't. I don't want to. I'm done with Bunktown. I transferred my money onto my new account, the 17.4 mil. Bot gave me a little extra, which was nice, and now I'm done. Anyways, what are your five favorite and five least favorite players in Bunktown? Take a minute to think about it if you need to.
Mm.
You can think out loud as well, for the sake of the interview.
The problem with that is I can't think of any. Well, can I think? Okay, well, the sleeping, beat search, X6, uh, channels, you, TV. I don't know. I sometimes forget who I play with.
Why don't you
Who
think about it, and we'll
I'll
go
come
back to
back.
that question. I want you to have an accurate list that is, you know, with some good thought put into it,
Mm.
and ranking them from five worst to five best, and for both sides, Um, yeah, just start working on that in our DMs right now while we answer the other questions.
Alright.
All right. What clans have you been in? And if you left them, why did you leave? And what were your experiences in the different clans? So that's three questions in one.
I've been in, well, Death Watch, BGI. I think that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the plans. And the reason why I left BGI, I just stopped playing the game, actually. When I came back, I was still in the Discord, but I didn't really do anything.
Like with them, you didn't play with them much. You just played on your own.
No. Yeah,
Okay.
basically. From what I can remember.
This is just like an off-topic question. Would you say
Mm.
you've had more fun in general gaming after you joined Deathwatch/MM in games in general and in the specific games you play, or less fun
I would say more fun in general.
for all games that applies to all
Well,
games
there's
you
also
play with
single
Deathwatch?
player. Uh, uh, that was the part that got me a little bit because single player games you can't really play with anyone. But yeah, excluding single player games, yes.
Okay, cool. Um, could you elaborate more on the why did you leave those clans for all the clans you've been in? Deathwatch, MM, and well, you never left Deathwatch. You did leave MM and you did leave BGI. So why did you leave MM and why did you leave BGI?
BGI, from what I can remember, one day I just stopped playing and went back to Dreadnought, where everybody else was still playing Buntown a little bit on and off there, but I just stopped playing because it got really boring, and I kept on dying over and over again. And for
Yeah.
MM, well, I just kind of ran out of things to kill, so I thought about it. I talked to you about it, but eventually I came.
Yeah, I remember that day very vividly. You were out of the clan for like 3 hours, right?
Something like that.
Do you want to talk a little bit about more your reasoning on why you left and why you rejoined 3 hours later?
You convinced me to stay. That was
I don't
basically it.
remember that is what happened. No, I don't. Is it okay if I speak on what I remember? I feel like I have a pretty good memory of what
Sure.
happened, and you can tell me if it was right or not. So
All right.
I remember I was DMing you and playing Bunk Town right before my chemistry test in my junior year of high school. And you told me there's not enough people to fight. I just want to try what it's like to be solo again. Um, I still want to be friends. I'll still be neutral with a lot of y'all. I just want more people to fight. And I remember trying to convince you, no, that's not the best idea. You're losing out on a lot of fun experiences. I don't remember what my reasoning is. I'm sure I had good reasoning when trying to convince you briefly before my chemistry test started. And then my chemistry test completed. I think I remember doing all right on it. And I went home. I walked home. It's about a 5 minute walk from my school to my house. Um, the house I used to live at was next to my high school. And I got on a call with you on my phone as I was walking into my house. Or maybe it was a little bit before. I just remember talking to you as I was opening the door to my house specifically. And I remember you saying that you wanted to rejoin because there was a lot of people that were asking you why you quit. And I think you started to feel the social impact and the social importance of quitting or staying, and how much of a weighted decision it was, and due to how you were so in depth and intertwined with the community of at the time, um, you felt like it was wrong to leave, and that you wanted to rejoin because mainly because of the community. I think it was. Is that correct? That's what I remember. I don't remember convincing you to rejoin when you rejoined 3 hours later. I remember you telling me you wanted to rejoin, or you already did rejoin, whatever it was.
At the time of me giving that answer like 2 minutes ago, I didn't remember exactly what happened, but you reminded me of my my side of that day. So I was at Bunker when I left, or
I
something
do.
like that.
I do remember you saying something about Bunker. I have Bunker in my mind when I was just thinking about it while I was saying it. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. A person came up to me. I don't know who. It was probably one of those um what's it called? Not PTB, but like one of those natural enemies we had back then. But he came up to me asking why. I mean, back then I was like, eh, I might rejoin or something.
Wait, pause.
Minutes at 6 p.m. At 5:50, our computers will turn off and our restrooms will be locked. If you need to apply for a library card, need help finding an item, or have any questions, please come to our service desk and we will be happy to help you. Thank you and have a good evening.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah, so a person came up to me. I just some regular person we fought every day. He asked me why, something like that. I just said I don't know, but just not enough people kill. And I said I might rejoin. At that time, generally, me as a person, if I make a friend, I can't easily let go of that friend.
Mm-hmm. It's really interesting
So
how the social ties to the game change how the game is played for the players, and how that's realistically applicable to the way the game is played. Relationships. You very rarely kill your friends in the game, There are cases where that
yeah,
happens, but it's very uncommon. Usually your friends are also your teammates. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
point
interesting.
neutral to them, but I just because of my set morals at that time. Well, I still have those same morals, but it's just kind of how I felt like back then.
All right.
I just can't leave a person that I have friended with for a long time.
Yeah, that makes
Even
sense.
though I wanted more PvP, it's just I
There was
couldn't.
other ways for you to obtain more PvP. Skull Clan, Civil War.
Uh, Artificial PvP does not suscitate my needs.
Fair enough.
That's what I thought back then. none of those words, but
It helped though. It helped for sure.
I mean,
Um,
I remember you referring me as some sort of cookie monster or
I
something.
mean, you were Black Ops Squadron though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
that didn't
I
even
don't.
really apply to you much. You very rarely enacted in school MM. I was Black Ops Squadron as well, so yeah.
Wow,
Of
isn't
course I
that
was.
obvious?
What updates would you like to see come to Bunk?
Oh man.
Talk very elaborately and lengthy about that. I have plenty of time.
All right. So
Give a
first
lot of
thing,
detail.
logging. Logging. I think this should be like a 2 second thing when you're outside safe zones that your character remains if they log,
Hmm.
and there should be some sort of symbol like an extraction symbol or something.
I
That
would like to throw out my idea and see if you would like that better. So, the reason I'm asking this question is because at the end of all the interviews, I'm gonna make a video that is what I think the next updates for the game should be. What I think the solution to logging is 3 seconds, and players have a animation where their character, um, like maybe blinks, like it's going away. Um, I think maybe like green for 1 second, yellow for 1 second, then red for the last second before it leaves, or like slow blinking character, and then fast blinking before they're about to log. I think one of those things could be good. What do you think about that idea?
I think that's good. But
Awesome.
also maybe another idea is just like remove the idea of logging, where you can only log in safe zones.
I don't think that's a good idea because if people lose internet, they should have,
Oh,
like, if people
oh
lose
yeah.
internet or their computer crashes or something like that, I feel like it would be nice to have the ability to not die. I think logging still should be in the game. I just think it should not.
Yeah.
There needs to be a combat log, and I think the 3 second thing that I described is the best option. Um,
Um,
what other updates would you like to see?
ooh, like maybe like sound like for shotguns, throwing stars, running, sprinting, drinking coffee, eating food.
Everything.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that could be nice, but it could also be. I mean, like low volume. I think that would be
Well,
pretty
the
cool.
player
Honestly, I
can
thought about.
always change the volume if they want with a
Oh
volume
yeah,
shifter bar. Um,
uh, maybe like plates also for like military gear. So you can put plates into your military gear, like friggin' what's it called? Uh, what was that
you
game?
haven't
Like,
put too much thought into this, have you?
no, but I just thought about like armor plates that you can put into your military gear, like Call of Duty,
Okay. I
like
think
iron
that
plates, steel plates.
that would not be a good idea because I feel like the inventory of what is the meta PvP kit is already fairly cluttered. In addition to that, there's so many effective items that are not often used from so you have your shotgun, you have bat stars, handgun, you could have rare candy, you could have pills, you could have coffee, food, water. I feel like we have plenty of utility items and we have plenty of, you know, PvP, weapons that we use, and I don't want it to feel too cluttered. So I think a better idea is to just add a upgrade to the military gear. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think that'd be pretty cool.
I
Upgrade
think
military gear.
it could it could change the game's balance though. The game I think it wouldn't it shouldn't upgrade the military gear more than like 40% more HP than the military gear already gives because the game is very well balanced as of now, other than V guns, I would say. And even V guns, they're not like crazy overpowered. I think they're just partially overpowered. But
Yeah.
it's not that they're overpowered, it's just they're toxic, I feel. It's not fun using V guns. I mean, okay, I think it
chemical
is fun
warfare.
using V-guns, but it's not fun going against V-guns, and it's not fun like always using V-guns. I don't know. It's very interesting to think about V-gun versus shotgun PvP. Anyways, what are some other updates you would like to see?
Maybe like some sort of like, well, this idea has been suggested in Deathwatch VCs, but like some sort of modifications for your guns and weapons, like attachments maybe. That was just brushed off though.
What would you like
Well,
those attachments to do?
Hmm. Maybe I mean it's a 2D game, so attachments can't really do that much. There's like no recoil. Maybe a barrel to tighten the spread
That's
or
called a
widen
choke.
it.
A
Huh?
shotgun choke. That's exactly what I was just thinking.
Oh,
Before you said that, yeah, a shotgun choke to tighten or widen. I think it's called a choke. But yeah, it lets you adjust the spread. I think that would be one of the first attachments that should be added. I also think, given that there's sound, you could have a silencer. I also think
yeah.
that the silencer for the shotgun should be a lot more expensive than the silencer for the handgun. And the more expensive the gun is, the more expensive the attachments for it should be. I think maybe a carbine kit for the handgun would be cool to make it more accurate, and maybe take magazines. Or I think a stock for the handgun to increase its accuracy would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of more discussion that can be had in that area. But yeah, I think that would be really cool. What else? Anything else?
Maybe even a backpack, honestly. Well, we already have Santa bags.
Yeah, we do already have Santa bags. I think that a backpack would be cool, yeah.
Maybe just
What
yeah.
about artifacts?
Jeez.
We're going too far.
Man. I mean, that would honestly be really sick, though.
I think it would. I just thought of that just now.
That would be really sick, though. I mean, I feel like it could be implemented pretty easily with like select few artifacts.
Yeah, I mean, you think of your basic movement speed, health, damage, stuff like
Yeah.
that. There never was damage artifacts in Stallcraft, but yeah.
Yeah.
Please have your
Speed
attention.
one is just going to
We
speed
Wait, let
are
me
coffee.
mute.
closing in 15 minutes. Now is the time to check out materials, print out documents, and make your trip to the restroom. Our computers and restrooms will be available for just 5 minutes. Thank you and have a good evening.
Alright, is there anything else you would like to discuss in the category of updates you would like to see?
Oh, maybe like decrease the drop rates for certain stuff.
Like what items?
Maybe I would go as far as maybe say even boss loot.
Like boss's main items? Like 50%
Yeah.
chance to drop minigun or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, like non-PvP, but in regular server, PvP server. Yeah, maybe. I don't want this interview to be too long, but it's gonna end up being really long anyway. I think why do you think that?
Because of how there's so much items these days, it's like inflation.
Yeah, so I
It's
think
not
a
really worth
much
it
better
anymore.
way to approach that issue would be
Casino.
no, server
Get rid of
wipes.
this.
I think
Oh,
I think
yeah,
server wipes, you could have one server that doesn't get wiped and one server that does get wiped. And the updates could possibly be more focused and encourage for players to play the wipe-based server, and the non-wipe server could be more legacied, if that makes sense, to encourage better games or better overall experience in the long run. And I also think, yeah, casino is a huge part of the inflation in the game. But I think the huge part of the problem is that the game has been up for almost 5 years with no wipes. And that's the main reason why wars never end in one side running out of loot. As of the past like 2 years, that doesn't happen. Wars end by one side getting bored or one side running out of morale to fight. No one really runs out of loot. Everyone's insanely rich, and I think that's a problem, honestly.
Yeah. Also because the game is so small. I feel like.
I don't think that really applies as much. I think
There's less
the
competition
lack of
for stuff.
wipes.
That too, mainly.
Yeah,
that.
I guess you could say that, but yeah, if there was more players, there would be more competition for boss farming, which is the best way to farm. So yeah. But yeah, casino definitely causes a lot of inflation, even though it's not abused nearly as much as it could be. It definitely causes a good bit of inflation, especially recently. Do you have the list of 10 people? Top 5 and lowest 5?
No.
Okay.
Don't need to think about it because there's a lot of people I don't remember. I'm trying to
Maybe
remember.
we should. Maybe you should take some time to think about it and DM it, and we can add it on a new chunk to the end of the interview. What is your favorite and least favorite thing about Bunktown?
My favorite thing is honestly the PvP and maybe a little bit of farming. My least favorite is people who have too much of an ego.
Okay.
The people I fight that have too much of an ego. Oh,
Fair enough.
frick. I just dropped my...
How old are you and where are you from?
What?
How old are you and where are you from?
I'm 17 from the United States of America.
Nice.
Hurrah.
What is your favorite boss to farm?
It's between... I mean, I never really did Delta that much besides the first, 3 times, but... I would say...
getting the first Wizzy with you. That was
Yeah.
fun. You, me,
I
Brett,
still
and
have a
Bob, right?
screenshot, I think. I don't remember, but it's in a screenshot.
Yeah.
But I would say... Santa or FBI. It feels like the same, though. Batman is also fun.
Okay. Cool.
They all feel the same besides that.
I do want to add a part 2 to this interview. We're going to edit it all together. There's a lot I want to talk about with you specifically that I'm not going to talk about with other people, just because of how legendary of a player you are and how much you've experienced in the grand scheme of the history of the game. But we'll talk about that in the part 2 that we'll edit onto this. What is your favorite hat? I think we know the answer to that.
Yeah. I always said that.
A fishy hat? All right.
Yeah, fish hat.
Is there anything else you want to tell us as of now before we do the part 2? Just any general?
No, not really.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and pause it here. This will be like our intermission, and we will pick up, I guess, maybe 20 minutes. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I will see you later.
Okay, so now the rest of the interview. Did you come up with the top 5 and bottom 5 people?
Yes, I have.
Awesome. So start off with your, from least worst to worst, your worst 5 hated people in the game.
Least worst. Least worst is Vibes.
You put a lot of thought into this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
For the least worst to the highest worst. I don't know how to word that, but I just generally...
Number 5 is Vibes, you said?
What?
Vibes, you said, for number 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
XX23 is number 3. I mean number 4.
All right, well, can you talk about Vibes and why he's in that spot? Spend at least 30 seconds talking about each person and why they're in their spot.
Oh, yeah. Vibes, I mean, I didn't like him because he started using the scripts and stuff. I mean, other than that's basically it. I don't like it from using the scripts. It just felt weird.
Okay.
Natural.
That's it? That's the only reason you don't like him? I feel like that's the least bad thing about him.
Yeah, that's, from what I can think of. Other than the natural, PTB stuff. For me personally.
Okay. That's very generalized, but okay. He's one of the worst PTBs and worst people in the game's history. But I guess you could generalize it in that. It's just very general and vague. PTB is a very vague term when it comes to this list of 5 worst people. But anything else you want to say about Vibes? I feel like there's a lot more to say on the person that Vibes is.
I kind of forgot what he was like, to be honest.
All right, well, I'll talk a little bit about him if you don't mind. Is that cool?
Yeah, sure.
Vibes is one of the most delusional, toxic freaks in the entire game's history. He had a brief during our most recent incursion. He had a very brief altercation with me. Basically, it was the basic, lack of social common sense. I think he became neutral very briefly. I don't remember exactly what it was. I just remember he was very stupid and immature during it. I don't even remember fully, honestly, but it was like I was trying to work something out with him, and he wasn't being patient with me at all. He was being toxic and just impatient with me. I was trying to give him mercy and give him patience. He was just being rude. He didn't care. And then he starts this he calls it anti-Deathwatch Discord, which is the YouTube profile picture of our Discord with a circle and a cross through it, like the cancel out, like what do you call that symbol? The skip from Uno, over the YouTube, my YouTube profile picture for Deathwatch official gaming channel. And he lets me in that, and I read through that, and I see a conversation between him and Alpha, and he is just so fucking delusional. He actually has the craziness to think that we're actually the bad guys. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Okay, I've already said my opinions on the fact that he uses a script. I mean, it is annoying, but again, it's one of those things like RMT and our Soulcraft incursion. It's never going to be enforced, and it doesn't really directly negatively affect the experiences of the other people. That would be, I don't know. It's a rough terrain, but it's cheating in Bunktown. It's you can argue that it's free terrain because it's and scripting is a very mild form of cheating, I would say. I do script, and I'm not trying to defend him. I just want to make it very clear that the fact that he uses casino scripts, out of all bad characteristics of him, that's probably the least bad. Yes, it's annoying, but again, I'm arguably the most morally correct and good player in the game, I would say, and I use casino scripts because anyone can use them. It's not hard. I've explained this in my comment on Alpha's X video. You're not going to get punished for them, and you're not you're hogging up casino, but it's anyone can do that anyways. Hogging up casino is just something that can happen with multiple people there. I wish casino scripting wasn't a thing, but it's just part of the game. It's it's the same thing of new ratty strategies coming out. It's just part of the meta, It's like V-Guns coming out. Yeah, we're going to abuse them because it's part of the meta. It's what the game is. We're a competitive clan. Same with casino scripts. It's just a new part of the game. I don't really look at it as cheating. But then again, you could make that same argument with any form of cheat in Bunktown because nothing is enforced. So it's really just a shitty situation for all of us because Tears is inactive. So, I mean, I feel like the debate could go both ways, but I think overall using the scripts is the right option because you got to compete with the people that do. If you don't, they're not going to stop. Yeah. I think that's a good general. I mean, it's basically the same analogy with the RMT in StarCraft, right?
Yeah, but okay. Next person. X63 for number 4.
Why?
I don't remember exactly why, but I just remember that I don't like him generally.
He's one of the most famous griefers and scammers in Dreadnought and Bunktown history.
Oh, yeah, that.
Maybe that was it. He's extremely toxic, betrays his friends, and has been doing that same behavior for 4.5 years. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, that part.
He's a PTB leader. Maybe that's another one. Overall, just a horrible piece of shit person. Maybe that's another one. Just throwing out facts, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you say?
I don't really hate anyone. Hate. I just dislike them slightly. But no.
Well, I hate them, but you know that. I'm a lot more of a passionate, emotional player than you are.
Yeah.
Social. Anyways, number 3.
Noodle.
Oh yeah, Noodle. Yeah, nobody really likes him.
I mean, the only thing I remember him doing. What was it? What was the other guy? I got those two mixed up.
I mean, he really betrays. Like, we let him in. He's one of those people that we've given a bunch of chances in, and he's just really selfish, careless, and immature. You know, we let him in, then he starts killing us after some minor conflict happens, or maybe not after any minor conflict happens, and he just decides to start killing us. Just like Yeet B, just like half the PTBs that are considered PTBs, basically. The more stupid, less powerful ones, especially. But yeah.
I remember one of them just.
Also very ratty.
I remember one of them. I think they were MM. They were like constantly asking me for loot and stuff. That's how I got the Bank of MM thing stuck in my head. Because it was one of them that kept on asking me for loot every day. It was either Poopy Pants or Noodle. I think, are they the same people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
A bit. I remember Poopy Pants asking for loot from you a lot, but I don't remember Noodle as much. There's been hundreds of people that we fought in the game and hundreds of people that have flowed through the clan.
I meant to put Poopy Pants in number 3 instead of Noodle, because I got those two mixed up really easily.
So is Poopy Pants number 3 and is Noodle number 2?
No.
So basically you're putting both of them tied for number 3?
No, I just got them confused with another. Like how it get.
Okay, so then who's number 2? Or are you done talking?
Ducky. The only thing I have against him is his PvP playstyle. I hate it so much. Also, trash talking. That's the only thing.
Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You're cutting out.
Oh. I think my internet.
Yeah, you're cutting out. Start with why Ducky's at number 2.
Because I just don't like his PvP playstyle and some trash talking here and there, and that's basically it.
Okay. Would you also throw in other PTB attributes of his? I feel like that's a given, right?
I mean, yeah, most of these are given.
The betrayal of our clan, the lying, the empowering Narco, and the rest of Crab.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you feel this way, but one of the reasons why I hate him so deeply is he's extremely delusional. He thinks he's in the right, and he plays this like innocent good guy because he's so confident that he's like this innocent good guy that he, at least I believe he is from the way he acts and from the conversations I've had with him. Yeah, it's just so fucking delusional. He like actually considers the fact, he probably believes it too, that he's the good guy and, you know, we're killing the game. I've had deep, meaningful conversations with him when he was neutral. I've tried to like convince him like the right way and the wrong way of things, and like why things are some ways and why some things are right and wrong, and my explanation on why I'm right and why I've pretty much always been right on these things. And he just failed to see it. He thinks that Bunk Town should never have clans. Bunk Town is a game that's not meant to have clans, and with an open world MMO RPG that has a player cap of 50 players, you can't say no clans. That's not how the game works. He says those things, and he goes joins Crab Clan, so it's narcissism as well. Yeah. Just sick of the community, sick of him, all that. But yeah, I feel like what makes him unique compared to Crab and PTBs is like I feel like he's so confident in thinking that he's like innocent and he's the good guy when that's so fucking far from the truth. But yeah, I think I've yapped enough about him.
I think you're yapping a lot.
Are you ready to move on to number 1? Well, I think I am, but I think it's important, useful information because, no offense, I don't feel like you're doing a good job of explaining on why these people are bad.
I mean, it's my opinion though.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you don't want me to elaborate on it, I won't elaborate on it. But I feel like it adds to the interview when I elaborate on these people and their histories because not everyone's going to know these people. And
I mean,
I don't know. I just feel like you don't give too much detail. So I want to, add more. I mean, this is arguably the most. This is without a doubt top 3 most important interviews of this entire series. So I really want to elaborate on stuff. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You want to move on to number 1? Wait, can I make a guess?
What?
Can I make a guess on who it is?
Oh yeah, sure.
All right, I'm gonna name 2 names.
All right.
Tell me if it's at least one of these 2 people. Narco Sleepy.
Sleepy.
Yep.
I actually don't mind.
Fair enough. All right. Oh God, that hurts to hear you say. Holy shit. Narco might be my number 1 worst, honestly. But start talking.
Oh yeah, Sleepy. When I was like a wee little lad in Bunktown, gosh, I hate saying that, but when I was like younger and stuff in Bunktown, which is so weird to say, but I got scammed by Sleepy, so yeah.
Me too, buddy. Me too.
Yeah, that was a couple of sandbags.
Actually, I don't even know if I've gotten scammed by him. I just remember him killing me when we were in the same clan, then he wasn't forced to give my loot back. That's why I left BGI and joined Plus and started MM. Anyways, yeah, he's. I think we can agree, and everyone can agree, that he's probably the most hated player in the game and the game's history, hands down.
Yeah. I just can't.
Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I just can't think of anyone else for number 1.
Yeah, but like, would you agree with me that he's probably like, on average, the number 1 most hated player?
I would say that, but different people.
I would guess that, honestly. I would think so. Actually, it might. I know this sounds crazy, but it might be me, honestly, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably not. It's probably Sleepy, but I'm definitely up there because of like how the community is. It's interesting to think about that, don't you think?
Yeah.
Anyways, you want to elaborate on Sleepy?
Well, the only thing I remember him is that he's got that like, well, his personality one is like, I would say manipulative, kind of. From what
Yeah,
I see.
very manipulative. He's a huge liar, crazy liar. Up there with, Nexo and old Nexo. He seems like he's changed and become a much better person. I want to make that very clear. But yeah, he's up there with like Nightmare, all them people. And like the average Bunk 10 player as well. Just a much more extreme version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, very manipulative.
Alright. Should I read off the?
I feel like you should add a little bit more to Sleepy. I feel like there's a bit more to say on him.
I mean,
you don't mind me asking.
I don't really talk to him or interact with him that much, or see much of what he does, or remember. I just fight him.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and add a little bit more if that's okay.
Right.
I would say easily the most hated player in the game's history. He's probably caused the most harm in the game's history. He's extremely racist and toxic, constantly betrays his friends, constantly scams, constantly griefs, trade griefs, I'm sure. He's, just huge ego, huge liar, has a history of threatening to hack people when, to my knowledge, he's never actually been able to do so. He's a freaking idiot that lives in New York. And, it's just, he's probably some, like, white trash little kid that, like, doesn't have any morals and is extremely annoying in real life and, like, just a complete smuck of a person. But yeah, no, I mean, I heard from Ducky, quote unquote, which is of course the most reliable source of information, that he's like started to become like really Christian now, and he like is trying to like get people in crowd to stop saying the N-word so much, which is completely failing, of course. That he is like a better guy now, and he's improving, and he's getting morals. I mean, maybe he's improving, but I still find that to be like, if not completely, definitely partially bullshit. Because I mean, the fact that he's fighting in crab and with crab and enough is enough to completely disregard that. Don't you think?
I mean,
I mean, yes, there's
true.
definitely some improvement, but like, it's barely noticeable, you know?
I mean, what has he said though? That's what I'm wondering. Has he?
Bro,
said
he's
anything?
he's like the one of the most notorious N-word spammers. Like,
No, like
he's so
recently.
toxic.
Like recently.
Recently, I don't see him talk recently. Barely anyone in Crab, like XX33 and Sleepy barely talk anymore. I'm not talking about what they say in Bunktown as of recently. I'm talking about the kind of things they've done in the history of the game. Like, XX33 and Sleepy are like some of the worst players in Dreadnought and Bunktown. Mainly Bunktown for Sleepy, Dreadnought and Bunktown for X.
I mean, if he has changed in real life, then
He hasn't. I'll tell you that. He hasn't. I know that for a fact.
if he is becoming a Christian, I won't have anything against him.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to say you're getting better and becoming, Christian to have morals, and then you go spew the N-word and fight alongside Crab. So it's bullshit. That's the fact of it. But yeah, I think we're ready to move on from this category. Would you say?
Yeah.
So I want to focus now. The rest of this interview is really going to be like your experience in Deathwatch, more specifically as the main and most active co-leader of Deathwatch/MM. This part of the interview is going to be like an extended portion where not anyone else is going to really have this portion. This is sort of like a wing it, unplanned portion that I want to add. It's kind of planned. I don't know. We'll just stop talking and get into it. How do you feel the overall? Tell me about your experience as being the basically right-hand man of Deathwatch/MM over the past 3.5 years. Talk about what that has been like.
I mean, to describe it in one word, it's fun. I like it.
Yeah, let's so.
It's fun to fight people alongside the clanmates and stuff. And
yeah. What about like outside of just PvP? Talk about like your leadership roles, specifically, and like the pros and cons of those roles and how that experience has been. And also just like if you could try to like talk more.
Well, experiences as the pros and cons. Well, being in this position, you have a certain authority over others in the clan, and that's a good thing. But there's also the cons of like managing people and stuff, getting them to behave, follow the rules. Separate.
Yeah, so the responsibility can be stressful sometimes. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, but it's also really cool to be in that position at the same time.
It's definitely a good thing to experience in life. Leadership in general is one of the most important experiences one can have, and I feel like clan leading in video games simulate that and how it can be applied to the real world in a but depending, it varies, but generally realistic and useful, progressive way. What are some of your favorite? I think you've pretty much answered that pretty well. What do you think of the overall plan of Deathwatch/MM and its mark on Bunktown and how you've been a part of that just generally talk about that.
The overall like experience of it.
No, like Deathwatch slash MM's Marco and Bunktown and how you've been a part of that, and like you get what I'm saying? It's like the mark of the clans on Bunktown and your part in that and what that means, the value in that, the history.
I mean, I think that it's a mark that can't be like forgotten because of how long we've been in the game and how much of an influence we had over it.
Okay.
I think generally people just can't forget our.
Pause the recording right now.
All right. Yep, I'm recording now.
So yeah, very unforgetful. What other attributes other than unforgetful would you say that we've left on the game in terms of the marks we've left on the game?
I say we changed some people. I would say we definitely changed a lot of people. Bot, for example. I mean, we definitely
for the better or for the worst.
For the better, but in some cases we just not intentionally, but unintentionally made people like even worse than they already were.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't mind, I'm going to talk a little bit on that. I think Chapernog is a good example of that. Like, I think Chapernog has always been an immature, selfish, and disloyal person for a while, and I think that he overall has a lot of good on the outside, but when you really dig deep into his character, you find a lot of rot, if you will, a lot of rotting personality traits and characteristics. And I think that when people get punished for behaving badly in the game by us, and by that I mean getting put on our target list and getting targeted, getting camped, getting their experience ruined by us intentionally, because they're bad, I think that brings out a lot more bad in people, and that entertains us, which is good for us, and that also helps everyone else understand the true side of people. I want people to understand who is good and who is bad, and when people get pressure applied to them, I think they show their true colors. Does that kind of make sense realistically? Do you get what I'm saying?
I mean, I generally don't think the angry side of people is the true side, but there's a certain degree to that, I feel like.
I definitely think a lot of PTBs do have good in them, but I think that they don't care to show that good. And again, like human interactions are in the real world online, just all socializing is based off of judging people based off of how they behave. That's, a core factor of socializing. And I judge Chapernog based off the way he behaves. He's betrayed the clan multiple times in the past, and he betrayed the clan in a very nasty way in this recent incursion. He said some very nasty, wrong, delusional things to me. So, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely a lot more serious and passionate about it than most people are, but I think that's a good thing. The community needs people like me, and yeah. Anyways, this is your interview. Sorry, I don't want to go too much into my history, even though it does quite apply to your history and intertwine. But do you ever see yourself returning to Bunktown?
Maybe it's just play for a few minutes or even an hour or two, but not like return like fully, but just to play a little bit.
Not like return to play seriously?
Yeah.
As your main game?
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. Do you think that if Deathwatch does a full official return, you could full official return and play seriously again?
Yeah, I think I can. I mean, depends on though.
Probably depends on what you're doing in life at that time, where you are in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that applies to most people in Deathwatch. Anyways, what else? I want to have at least one more question. What do you think would be a good final ending question?
Final ending question. Let's see.
Oh, we haven't even talked about your top 5 favorite people.
Oh, right, that thing. Forgot about that. Okay.
I'm always focusing on the bad and how to make it better. I never appreciate the good. No, I'm kidding. I do, just
That's
very rarely.
Alright, number 5. We have Bob. With the B. Bob. Not Bob.
Alright.
He's he will be high up, but he sometimes annoys me, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think a lot of people can relate to that.
I mean, brain rot, that's one thing, but I mean, he's a kid. I like him. I don't like kids. I mean, I do, but not like that way.
Alright, go watch some Dr. Disrespect. This interview's over.
Oh my gosh.
Alright, anything else you want to say on Bob? Any other reasons you like him or respect him? Or can you talk about a little bit about y'all's history?
You know, I kind of forgot. I think.
Well, I would like to add that Bob has been a part of this community longer than you have. And you are the highest ranked person in this community other than me, the leader. So I think that says something. He's also he's probably the 3rd most active person in all of Deathwatch gaming history. I think Gawain comes as a close 4th, but he has definitely, especially in the Bunk town and the Minecraft areas of Deathwatch, he's been quite active.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. You want to switch to number 4?
Yeah, number 4 is Bot.
Oh, also, Bob has been very loyal throughout history, extremely loyal, I want to say that, and very good, smart, rule-following, great social common sense, overall an amazing person, and great gamer, very talented for his age. He's 14 as of now. Alright, Bot, you said, right?
Yeah. Actually, are we going this off like in general or like recently?
However you want to do it.
In that case,
I would say in general, overall.
In general, I was contemplating on putting T4 or Bot in there. I don't know. They kind of have the same like things, I would say.
I personally would put Bot higher than T4, without a doubt. But it's your choice.
Yeah, I put Bot in number 4.
Okay, cool. You want to talk a little bit about why you put him there and your history with him, his history with the clan, anything about that?
He's just a fun guy to hang out, I'm not gonna lie. Especially in PvP, all that stuff. And just a really cool guy to talk with about stuff.
Also, no hard feelings to T4. We love him. I want to make that very clear.
Yeah.
He's just had a lot more of a rough history than Bot has. The roughest out of anyone in Deathwatch, to be specific. Anyways, yeah, Bot's a really fun guy to hang out with and talk with and play with. I can definitely relate on that. He's definitely up there. I'm not sure if he's in my top 5, but he's definitely up there for me.
Yeah. For number 3, I have T4.
Cool. Why?
I mean, pretty much the same as Bot. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, me and him, I don't think we talk much other than just like bunk down stuff and when Dreadnought was a thing. We don't really do a lot of outside things.
The new age of Deathwatch is coming, so yeah. I'm really excited for that. Oh, yeah, and you are as well, I know.
Yeah. Honestly, the majority of people on this list is like that.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say about T4 specifically?
No.
I feel like he's a very unique Deathwatch member.
Oh, yeah. I would say he's... What's the word? The nicest way possible. A little hot-headed.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I have to be honest. with him because
He has a lot of character, a little too much sometimes. It's a nice way to put it. We love him.
I love T4.
Yeah. Love you, T4, if you're listening.
Yeah.
All right, you want to move on to number 2?
Yeah, number 2 is Hammer.
Hammer. That is a good one. Hammer's probably in my top 5. I'm going to be honest. Yeah, Hammer's got to be in my top 5.
Bro,
He's probably 4 or 5.
I loved playing with Hammer back then. In the good times, me and him were running around the Bunk town.
Yeah.
Wait, did Hammer talk back then? I don't remember. I don't know if Hammer talked.
I don't think he did. I think he did a little bit. I remember him turning his camera on in a Zoom call like 3 years ago.
Oh.
I think he did talk, but usually he didn't.
Yeah.
It was rare when he talked.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you should talk a lot more about Hammer than you have the other people in this list. I feel like there's a lot of good things to say about Hammer.
I'm gonna be the real surreal here. I don't remember a lot.
Okay, well, I'm going to talk about Hammer.
Right,
Hammer has been arguably the 4th or 5th highest rank in MM history and Deathwatch history in Bunktown. So that's not including other areas of the game. He was also one of the highest rank in our most recent Dreadnought incursion. I don't think he was in any of our other Dreadnought incursions. He's one of the best PvPers in the game's history. He was also I think either assistant, he might have actually been co-leader in his prime in the clan. So if you don't know, if you haven't been in the clan, we have assistant leaders and we have co-leaders. As of our most recent incursion, we only had me leader and him and Doc co-leader. We didn't need any more ranks because we only had 20 active people, and that was enough to own the game. Or 25 in like our peak of our most recent incursion. Anyways, 20, 25 around there. And we just didn't need more leaders, but back then when we had like 40, 45 active people in Prime MN, and the incursion before that, we had like assistant leaders and stuff. There was a lot more internal conflicts, a lot more conflicts in general, larger scale war, more people involved. So it required more staff for the leadership team. And Hammer, yeah, he was helping us lead the clan, I believe, at the age of 11, and he was doing a damn good job. He is one of the most impressive, respectable people, players, and PvPers I have ever met online. He has, I would put easily, Hammer is easily on my top 5 favorite. I'm not sure where he is on that, but he's definitely on that top 5. I respect Hammer so much. He's such a cool guy outside of video games. He's such a cool person. Yeah, the absolute unquestionable loyalty he's had, great leadership qualities. Yeah, truly amazing guy. Is there anything you would like to say about Hammer?
Honestly, he's a really good person to play with and just a good friend. That's all I have to add.
Yeah, all right. I really liked his PvP style as well.
Oh, yeah.
He was very aggressive and successful in that aggression.
I love it.
He knew who the enemies were, and he didn't ask questions for the most part. And I like that about him. He got the job done. He didn't ask questions.
I would say
He was
that's
a
like
great...
me back then.
What'd you say?
I would say that's like me back then, because back then I didn't really care who was.
Not as much. You definitely had some neutralities with PTDs that was very upsetting for me.
Some.
But Hammer didn't really have that.
Yeah. Okay.
I think you've definitely done a lot more than Hammer, though, but we don't really need to start a compare conversation.
Yeah.
You've done a lot more for the game and for Deathwatch than he has, but he's definitely up there with doing the most out of the members and the people in the game. Anyways, is that all about Hammer?
Yep.
All right. I think we know who number 1 is.
I think we all know who number 1 is. I'll give you one guess. It starts with the P, ends with the S.
It ends with the S? Bro, I thought it was going to be me. My name ends with an E.
Oh, wait.
My dreams are crushed.
No.
Who is it?
It's you, obviously.
All
Wow.
right.
Right?
Daddy?
Okay.
We're keeping that in.
We're not,
I don't care
we're
what the
not
fuck you
keeping
say.
it.
We're keeping that in.
We're not keeping that in.
Okay. Why am I your favorite character in the, or were your favorite player / person in the game?
What do you want me to?
Please don't make me force words out of you. Please elaborate a shit ton on your own.
All right. In terms of Bunk, I mean, back then you were the first one I met. One of the first people I met when I came back to Bungtown. Initially, I didn't. Actually, I think you were the person who got me to start speaking in VC more. Because back then I didn't. I was like, I hate to use this word, but shy in VC and all that stuff. Talking.
Yeah, fucking pussy. I'm just kidding. I love you.
I mean, bro, honestly, you helped me so much by speaking out loud to people and stuff in general.
Yeah. I think that this slot is a very unique slot because we're best friends and our friendship runs way beyond video games and way beyond Bunktown. So, but just try to keep it focused on Bunktown for now.
Yeah. I mean, ignoring everything else outside Bunktown, we PvP we're an iconic duo in PvP. Every time we're together.
We're the duo of justice. That's what we are.
Yeah.
Except for when you went in neutral to Angel Bye Bye. That pissed me the fuck off.
Yeah, that could happen.
But we don't need to talk about that. We'll move past that. You've learned and grown.
Yeah. Let's see.
I raised my children correctly.
That's crazy. I called you.
All right,
I don't even want to know how many times I called you that.
But my name. You can say it. You know my name.
I refuse to say that in this recording.
You refuse.
You know.
All right, I'll just spend 100 hours editing a 4-hour-long clip of you calling me daddy every single time in the past 3.5 years. I guarantee you there's at least 500 times.
Okay, well, that was literally your username.
No, I'm not actually going to do that. That would take days and days. Days in terms of hours, not days in terms of spending all day doing it. It would take hundreds of hours, or maybe 100 hours. I don't know. Anyways, what else about me makes me your favorite player?
In Bunktown only, I mean, you served as the model of morals, basically. That's
yeah.
That's the main thing, I think. But,
yeah.
I mean, great person to play with, good teammate, great leader, has morals. Is the role model for morals in this game. I mean, there's not much to say
Okay, cool.
Town. Because
what about, and something I'm gonna say for future interviews that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add explanations to each person and my opinion of that person a little bit. But if that person is repeated on someone else's list, I'm not gonna add more because I've already added my opinion on another person's interview. So just to help people elaborate and give more story behind a character. But could you talk a bit more? This is going to sound so egotistical. I swear, guys, I'm doing this for the sake of the interview. Could you talk more about me being the leader of your clan for 3.5 years?
I mean, you basically manage freaking a bunch of kids running around in an IO.
Around 200, I would say.
Freaking, I remember the first time me doing it. I mean, it wasn't even with kids, but holy crap, that was annoying. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know how.
Yeah,
do that.
I definitely had way too much patience and care for my own good. We can agree on that. Skullcraft.
Yeah. But yeah, it's freaking bunch of kids running around you. That's what I can just see from Bunktown.
I tamed the untamable. That's what you're trying to say.
To a certain degree, but you also thrown out the untamable ones. That's basically
it. Gotta toss out the bad apples and then crush them with your fists and leave no mercy No ounce of apple juice left. Suck it all up and throw it in the trash.
That sounds kind of gay.
Guys, I swear I'm saying I don't have issues. Guys, I swear.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of mommy issues and a lot of daddy issues, but other than that, I'm good. Actually, a lot of mommy issues and daddy issues. A shit ton of issues. I'm better now. I've been better for a while.
Real.
Anyways, I would say I've been a pretty good leader. I definitely had some mistakes in my earlier days, but ever since, I feel like ever since the very first incursion of the clan, I've been pretty much all good, or 95% good or more. I think I had a few, still, I think even in the first incursion, I was still 90% good. I mean, even in the first incursion, I was still the most morally good and best leader, I would say. I've always been the best leader.
I mean, in terms of
what else?
You are a unique item.
I'm definitely the most unique Bunk Town player there is, I would say, yeah.
Well, just in terms of people in general. Because I've never met a person like you before. And generally, there's people you can relate to, but there's I can really no one to you. You're just that unique. I'm not gonna lie here.
Yeah, I think the main person I can relate to most in life is someone that is not even in Deathwatch, is an IRL friend of mine. His name's Aiden. He went to high school with me, but yeah. Off topic. Could you talk a little bit more about why I'm your favorite player?
I mean,
I feel like you can add a little bit more.
I think I went past the main points, so.
Maybe talk about how much I've done for Bunk Town and the other. Just that.
I think I said that already.
We're almost done, Doc.
Did I already say that though?
I don't think you've talked enough about it, if you have talked about it at all. God, this is going to sound so egotistical. Yeah, I can already, imagine the PTBs yapping fucking delusional bullshit at the screen right now. Oh, he's so egotistical. Oh, he's such a dictator. He's forcing his fucking co-leader to talk. Oh, he's so great. I can already picture your fucking newbie going off with his delusional fucking freak of bullshit talk. Anyways, sorry. Continue.
I mean, I already said this, but just the most morally correct person in terms of endgame morals and stuff.
So I've done a lot of good and turned a lot of bad people good and spread a lot of goodness in the community.
Yeah, but the community is kind of a
hopeless. Hopeless. That's the best word to use. The community outside of Deathwatch, the word you use to describe that is hopeless.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
It is a browser game.
Yeah, it's a browser.
Of an average age of 14, so, or maybe 15. Anyways. Alright, I definitely think you could have added a lot more detail in your interview and said a lot more, but you've always been simple, quieter person, so that's fine, I think I helped you elaborate on things to a somewhat sufficient degree. I think this is going to be the final question. What do you think should happen to Bunktown in terms of what's best for the future of the game? Do you think Tiers should sell it to me? Do you think Tiers should give it to me? Do you think Tiers should find another dev they know? Do you think Tiers should do a challenge to whoever wins it in the Bunktown community gets the game? I think that would be a horrible fucking idea. I don't even know why I fucking said that. Yeah. What do you think the future of Bunktown should be in terms of how the problems in the game are going to be fixed?
I think Tiers should lay the basic foundations of his ideas to another developer and maybe sell it to them or something. I agree.
Do you think I would be a good developer for Bunktown?
I mean, I don't think you would know how to code and stuff. all that.
No, like in terms of the idea guy, I'd get fucking like Billy Boy or someone to like do the stuff, but I'd be like the one, in charge and like I know some coding, but like in terms of like the overall decision maker and idea guy, like you think I would be a good fit?
I mean, generally, I don't think people who have played the game should be devs of the game.
What if I didn't play the game anymore like if I just played it to test it and I didn't play it like as a regular player?
I mean, yeah, if you disregard any like, what's it called, biases.
Bias.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
I mean, yeah, I thought about that before,
Yeah,
as you've heard me say.
Yeah, I think that would be good, honestly. Either that or the hand it off to another dev idea.
So you think I would generally be a really good dev and be good for the future of the game if I had like full power in the game
full power, but
to change the game?
No bias towards anything and stuff.
Yeah, no corruption, no bias, just strictly doing what's best for the game.
Yeah.
And the game's community. More importantly, the game, though. But yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Is there anything else? I think I'm ready to conclude this interview. Is there anything else you would want to say? Any other questions you think other people might be curious about that might want to know about you? Let's use this to answer any other questions you think people might ask. Yeah. I think there's a few more things you could add.
I mean, about me,
talk about yourself.
Oh, me. I don't have enough words in my brain to talk about myself. I'm a person. Yeah.
I didn't think it was gonna be this hard, but damn, I'm kidding.
As far as I'm
all right.
seeing my thoughts right now.
You wanna end the interview? Are we done?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks. Are you recording?
Yeah.
All right. Subscribe to the Real Dodge channel. Subscribe to this channel. Support us on Patreon. Just kidding. Just Venmo me. I don't have Patreon. No, not really. Join Deathwatch if you're allowed to. Some of you may not be, but I strongly encourage you to join Deathwatch. You will have a better time in whatever game you're playing with us, and overall, I would say you'll be happier in life. I know that's a bold claim to make, but I truly believe that. We're just such a rare and unique and truly spectacular, amazing community. What else? Like the video, comment down below, give some deep, meaningful, comments on different points. I really want to see a great full comment section on this video, if y'all don't mind. Thank you for listening to it. Yeah, is there any final thoughts, final words you want to say, Dob, before we stop?
Apple.
All right, you can stop recording now.